gentlemen. I almost got the first line out of Roxanne, but I didn't because it would be embarrassing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, Facebook Live today with real estate extraordinaire from the St. Rose office, Kennedy Weinberg. Welcome to the show. Studio audience goes crazy, Kennedy, as you can see. That was great.
I know. Thanks for the effects.
Well, listen, I think for your second full year in real estate last year, you had a pretty damn good year in the top echelon of your office, also in Nevada as a whole, right? What are you, 26 now?
Currently age-wise?
Yes.
26, 27 this year, yep.
I know, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm sorry, but I did.
I know, it's a secret.
Well, you never say a lady's age unless they're in their 20s. Then it's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So anyway, so congratulations. Great year. You're rocking it. Tell them a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this wonderful thing, and a little about maybe what you did before, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. So I know when I was on the podcast or the Facebook Live last year, I told a little bit, but I'll go into like a different direction with it. But this is my third full year in real estate. Had my license for 4, but again, I was still in the recruiting business before I became full-time in, was it 23 or 24?
24.
Anyways, yeah. So backtracking all the way before I was even born, my grandparents on my mom's side, they actually owned a brokerage in California. And then for some reason, mom ended up out here. My dad, as most people know, Mark has been a realtor since 94. My mom was in loans. Geez, that's how they met, actually. Funny story, blind date, ask them about it. And from there, I was just immersed in the industry since the day I was born. So I was 8 years old going to showings with dad, and he was so funny. He would be like, okay, Kennedy, because I had opinions. Every young kid has opinions, right? And the last thing you want you to do is have your kid come in there and say, what is this? And point out every flaw possible, right? And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the client actually loved the house. So he'd be like, say good things and, maybe sit down and hang out while we're in the showing. So I used to go help him open the blinds, help him, prep before every showing. And that was, I remember doing that 6, 7, 8 years old.
Right. I remember going to your house when you lived with your father. I'm going to say it was 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You were there. That's when he introduced me to you. It was for a fight, and your father had a party at the house, and it was because I know your father's into boxing, and he does refereeing and so forth too. And I remember meeting you, and I go, "Oh, what a cute young girl she is."
I know, and here I am.
And now you're killing it as a real estate extraordinaire, which is so awesome to see, honestly. So real estate's in your blood, right? Definitely.
Yeah. That was the gist.
You just took a little, you became a forensic psychologist, and then you got into recruiting for a company, and now you're recruiting for yourself, listings and sales.
I know. I feel like I've lived many lives. I mean, it sounds like I should be a lot older than I am. But no, I got my master's in forensic psychology, and then I dabbled in that arena for a little bit, realized I wanted to help people, but in a different way. I think that was a little bit too hands-on, where I was going to bring the work home with me, and I didn't need that. Well, now I bring work home with me, but in a more positive light. So I'll take it. I love it.
Right. And I'm just guessing, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm just guessing that you bring home work with you now, but the pay is a little different.
Yes, that obviously, fortunately and unfortunately does become a factor. So not only are you taking home this this stress, that people are laying on you all day in the forensic, in the psychology world in general, but, then on top of it, they don't, the pay isn't as lovely. Whereas now,
Right.
yeah, I mean, the reward is much higher to deal with, maybe the headaches that we sometimes have to deal with.
Absolutely. Like my wife's a nurse practitioner. She's got 2 masters in her field, right? And she helps people all day. She works for Nevada Health. She's the CNO, Chief Nursing Officer. And I just tell her, I say, I help people too, honey, just a different way. To me,
Yeah.
the, the number one thing for me is when I have somebody who's never made $100,000, and then I help them make 100, and then we get to two, and then they go over, like you, even more. I don't want to tell everybody what you make, but you make really good money, and it's just a very fulfilling, because I've been in real estate for 41 years. I've done it myself as an agent. I've coached. I've done building, developing. So for me to help people, that's the most rewarding thing. And when you see somebody like yourself just starting really your third full-time year, and you're already in the top 12, 15 of your office, who knows where you finish, because I only have November numbers, but
I know.
that's.
Try to get the numbers. Thank you.
And for a brief moment, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this, your father's going to kill me. For a brief moment, you took the lead over your dad this year.
I did. I did.
Sorry,
I
Mark.
still have the November stats in my email, and sometimes I'll refresh that email and just send it back to him here and there just so he can look at it.
Just so you know, the only person that you're in competition with that's going to be excited when you pass them is your father or mother, just so you know.
Yeah, but I don't know how excited. He might act like he's excited, but I don't know how excited he really gets.
Right. He's competitive, but he's definitely proud of you, and he knows you're
No,
doing a
he
great job.
is.
I tell him all the
Yeah.
time, great work, Dad. I tell your mother the same thing too. Great work, Mom.
Yeah.
She's doing incredibly well, and you are. So tell him a little, like, how do you do this? Come out of college and 26 years old, making the money you make and doing the deals. How do you do that every day? What's your schedule? Like, what do you do?
Oh gosh. Well, here's the thing that I tell people too. I tell a lot of agents, I don't have a husband, I don't have kids. So I have many hours in the day to do this, right? The 1 hour I take to myself is the gym. But I'm always just doing something. Even when I'm laying in bed at night, I'm still reaching out to my sphere in some capacity, whether that's DMing them or texting them. And I'm a Henderson and Vegas native. So in that regard, I know quite a bit of people, especially my generation, who are now starting to look to buy, or maybe their second property or sell and buy. So my sphere has been a huge uh, chunk of my business, truthfully. And I have a lot of great people around me that think of me when anyone around them is like, "Are you looking to buy or sell?" So I get a lot of lovely, our favorite, those text messages. "Hey, my buddy's looking to buy. Will you help them?" That's like the best text message I could ever get. But I
So
I am very strict with my routine. I have things that I do daily, and I have things that I do weekly, and I actually have things that I do monthly, and I separate them into, you know, the biggest thing I was like, I should be making money in my own neighborhood, for instance. If there's anyone who should be selling in my own neighborhood, it should be me. So I every month door knock my own neighborhood, and I honestly, truthfully, took about 5 to 6 months to see any result, which means to get my first sale in there. And then I got my first one, and then it started to trickle down from there. I got a second one, and then I got a third one. Now I'm potentially getting a fourth. That's just how it worked. But again, it's the long game. So, I door knocked thinking I was going to get, instant gratification. Well, you're never, for the most part. Um, and then I do a lot of just sold, just listed mailers, and those actually, I mean, obviously it's a numbers game, but the turnaround I've seen on those, the ROI, I should say, definitely for me have been extremely helpful. And once you pick up momentum, if you do the right things, that momentum like it carries. It's for what I've noticed.
yeah, no, it's definitely true. And like you said, I think it was good that you saw, your mother and your father both in the business, and you understand that it takes time, but
Yeah.
if you do, it's like physics, if you go to the gym and you eat right, if you're not in shape, you will get in better shape over time. It's the same thing with real estate. It's a numbers game, right? You do the numbers, and all of a sudden, okay, then, you do the numbers, and then you do the qualifying, and then boom, it all comes together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just like in your, like you mentioned, you weren't married yet. It's the same thing with getting married too. It's a numbers game, right? You do the numbers, you qualify them, and then next thing you know,
Hopefully
sorry,
only
Dad.
once, right? That's the goal.
Right. That is the goal. That is the goal. Right. And I think today, like people get married later and have children later. I think it's smart because we're living
Yeah.
longer, we're staying healthy longer. You're more mature when you get older. So you got plenty of time for that. Just the old if you keep building your business and so forth too, then when you do that, because look at like the guy I interviewed Monday from California. If you have a big sphere, right? I mean, you do all these different marketing. I mean, you do this farming, you do expired listings. You do next thing you know, you're going to have this gigantic sphere, and then you work their sphere. There'll come a time where you can level off, like your father. He's the perfect example. When I saw him do his interview, that's basically what he talked about. Now he can live pretty much off his sphere, just marketing and working with them, and
Yeah.
it makes the business a lot easier too. And you're still in that growth phase, and I have a feeling you're going to grow it quite a bit, which is a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, dad gets to take his 9 trips a year now, but it only took 31 years to be able to do that.
Yeah, and one of his favorite ones is going to Boston and going to Fenway Park. He always texts
I know.
me with a picture when he's there. I'm like, dude, it's the best place on earth. Wrigley is a close second, no doubt, but Fenway's
Yeah.
kind of its own thing. But Wrigley's cool too. But yeah, that's the thing. You can go on trips. You can do what you want to do. It's nice to have money and options and so forth at your age because it just sets up your whole life differently too. So great job. You'll
Yeah,
have a
I know, and I know we talk every other Friday, and the one thing that we've been talking about a lot is making sure I take my 1 trip a year.
yeah.
Delegating a little bit of time for myself because I have a huge problem doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, look at you're young. I used to do the same thing when I first started. I work, and then I'd go on a vacation. But you got to schedule them and remember. This is the key thing to remember: is rest is part of the equation to be a top producer. You can't be doing it all the time. You'll drive yourself nuts. And once you get burned out, it takes a little while to recover. So you never really want to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so now I'm a real estate agent. I'm in the business. I want to get some results like you, Kennedy. What would you give them your top three? Like if you had to narrow it down to three things, what would be the three things you'd say, hey, you know what? These are the most important things to consider to be a top agent in real estate.
So I knew you were going to ask this question. So I actually took some notes because I wanted to be creative. You know me, I'm very planned out. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to take a
Yeah.
couple notes while I was thinking last night. And one of them, which I already kind of mentioned, was playing the long game. Results don't happen and careers aren't built in months, they're built in years. So if you stay patient while the other realtors are quitting, you already won. Because what was the stat? Do we have stats with how many people, how many agents didn't renew this year? Do we know
Yeah,
that?
it was between 8 and 10% per NAR.
Yeah.
But
So there you
remember,
go.
that's been going on for 3 years now. So if you do it for the last 3 years, the realtor population has been reduced by over 500,000 or about 30% of, the total number.
Yeah. And when, I don't know if other people are feeling it, but I do feel some things opening up. I've noticed my listings are getting more showings. Maybe ones that weren't getting a lot of showings are now getting more. So as we see things pick up, I really feel like we might actually feel that the production levels get higher because there's less agents. Maybe, hopefully.
Mhm. No, you're right. Not,
Um,
not only are we going to have the increase in activity, like you just said, but there are fewer agents to service it too, which for the people like yourself that have stuck true and it's really, what's the word I want to find? Encouraging to hear somebody your age say, play the long game, because most people your age want to play the instant gratification game, which is not how you do real estate.
no, it's not. You know how many doors I knocked before I even got one listing from it? It was a lot. And the first one I ever got a call on, it ended up being someone who was way overpriced, wasn't reasonable whatsoever, vetted. And so it just shows it's the numbers game. It's huge before you see results. So if you and I remember my dad kept telling me, like, if you think it's gonna happen right away, good luck. So I had him and my mom who were really able to like bring me back to reality all the time when I get frustrated. They were very good at being like, this is it. This is real estate. If you think you're gonna get it right away, good luck.
Right. Yeah. No, I
So
love it. Your mother's in my coaching now too, since she came back to the company, and now she's in the groove. She's got stuff going on. Really, really
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, she just went under contract with a big one, so I'm super proud of her. Yeah, everyone's doing good and it makes me happy. The
That's
Weinberg family's on a roll.
Weinbergs are killing it. I love it.
Yeah. And then number two, I wrote down consistency beats talent. So what I mean by that is you don't need to be the best agent in the room, but you need to be consistent. If that best agent in the room forgets to do their follow-ups and you come in and you start following up with somebody who's more apt to get it, probably
Mm.
you because you're in front of them more. So that's what I mean by that.
That's such a great point, and that goes true for your social media, for your lead
Yeah.
follow up, for your prospecting. Consistency is always better than perfection, and because you'll never get there.
Yep, exactly. And then my last one, which I think you'll like, I wrote down be the human, not the billboard. So people don't hire top producer energy. I feel like people, not always, right? But they want authenticity. So when you can be honest and real with them and just your authentic self, you're going to carry that client. And that's actually what creates the relationship and the longevity for like referrals and so on and so forth.
I love it. This woman is wise beyond her years. You're like an old soul. You say such
I
wonderful
have been
things.
told that since I was 6 years old.
You know, it's true. It's true. You say things, and I know you believe them too. So that's the good thing. And it's how you act. So that's why it's such a joy working with you and coaching and so forth too, because you have that. You know, you got to be patient. You got to put the work in, but you got to be patient with the results, right? So all the things that you've said, and I love that too, because no one wants to hear. I'm number one in my market. I'm the most incredible person on the planet. Just ask all my friends, right? They
No.
want to feel that they are number one with you. And when they feel that,
Yeah.
like you just said, then they want to work with you and tell all their friends. And that's such a great way to put it. It's
Yeah.
true, right?
Yeah. And something I tell my clients a lot of times too is my goal is to make you feel like you're my only client. You're not, but my goal is I always answer my phone, my text messages, anything they need, obviously within a time frame. If I'm in an appointment, I'm not stopping my listing presentation to text somebody, but I always get back to people ASAP. And I that's because I want everyone to feel like they're getting the attention they deserve because at the end of the day, that makes us feel good about getting paid and they feel good that we're getting paid. So,
Right. That's because you're lying in bed still texting too.
yeah, 10 o'clock at night. I've done inspection reports on the phone with clients for very quick turnaround escrows at 10:30 at night with me, the client, and the inspector. And I'm in bed in my pajamas. They don't know with the
Right.
inspection report laid out on the bed. And so yeah, it doesn't matter the time. I'm
Right.
always on it.
That's good. That's good. But there'll come a time you need to shut that phone off at a certain time because you do need to get your
Yeah.
sleep. And but so it's part of the equation. It's part. I used to shut my phone off at 7 because if it went off, I would have to look at it. So I just used to shut it
Yeah.
off. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
Working
all
on
right,
that,
well,
Rick. We know that.
yeah, you're working on a lot of things at once, but you're getting good and really good at what you're doing. You have a pipeline. I mean, let's think about it. You have a schedule, like you just said. I schedule everything out. If realtors would just listen to that, if like I did a video last week and it said, "Show me your schedule, I'll tell you your income," and it's so true if you think about it, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
Show me your schedule. I'll tell you what you make and where you're prospecting and who you're talking to and how many times a day and what are your conversations like and do you practice what you're saying in your presentation? All that stuff is critically important. And then you'll get to a certain point, like your mother and father's age, where you just, as long as you show up, okay, you're going to do it. And that's the key eventually is just showing up and doing it. But you're in the fun phase of the business. I remember that phase. It's a blast.
Hmm.
You're building a business. You're really getting paid what you're worth. And the only vote that matters is yours. And obviously, we're here to help you in that journey as well as your parents. So you got a really good thing going. And it's a really blast to watch you grow and do all this. Any final words you want to leave these lovely people out in Facebook land? I know because I know you're more of the Instagram age.
I know I've never done the only times I've ever done Facebook Lives are with you, Rick.
Well,
I should
Facebook is for
probably
old
do them
people,
more often. I
right?
I know I have my grandparents on here. No, I'm kidding.
No, but
But
Facebook
I
is
do
good.
I it is, and I need to do it more, which I know me and you talk about all the time. Do more videos, Kennedy, do more. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
right.
Again, it's a comfort thing of getting used to holding that phone up and just talking to it like it's a selfie. You know,
Right.
if only it was as easy to make a video as it is for my generation to take selfies, then I'd be doing a lot of videos.
Well, plus you have a lot of good things to say too. I've seen a lot of people on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube Shorts. They're consistent, but their message is, eh. You have
Yeah,
if you're consistent with that with your message, you would be doing even more from what you're already doing, which is great. So,
yeah. Well,
so what
thank
do
you,
you think?
Rick.
My pleasure. Anything else you want to leave these lovely people with today that you can think of that's on the top of your head?
Well, I just always like to compliment the company itself. I couldn't
Ooh.
be happier where I'm at. And obviously, with the help of you and just the managers and everybody, I just feel cared for. And I think that in itself is priceless. So that's really it. Just complimenting the company. And, everyone hopefully appreciates and sees that as well.
Yeah, and you have tremendous managers too. You know,
Hmm.
with Amanda, and you've got Janice over there, and you've got Janice is over here now, but and then you've got Kristen, and so you guys are all rocking it, and it's a great office. And St. Rose is a great office. So is Southwest. We have some really good offices, and you can work in any one of them too. So
Yep.
I really appreciate the kind words. If every one of our agents had the work ethic of you, we would have a different market share. I can tell you that.
Love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking your time out today. I really appreciate it. Keep it rocking. Pleasure working with you and everybody else. We'll do this again next week. Thanks, Kennedy.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Paul. Bye.
Paul's in the background always.